Guys, mark today on the calendar, 10/13/2025. The SEO is officially converted into generative search optimization if you are a local gentleman or gal like myself, because I took these images this morning. Actually was talking to Holly over the weekend, and she originally showed me this. AI Overviews is now taking over the map packs, and we did testing across the board, and what we're seeing from Google Map rankings versus this new AI Overview Maps is completely different. And I hate to say this is just the beginning as well. That you see with all the maps and all the numbers on them and where your rankings are, those are soon to be obsolete. The more and more these results are going to become personalized. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean by if, let's say you need your car repaired, right? Google's now personalizing the results more and more that say, hey, we know you, Brock, you're Mr. Cheapo, and you're going to be looking for a cheap-ass car mechanic, right? Versus somebody else that's looking for quality, you know? I'm going to have my results tailored to me. This is the new reality. And if you're in SEO, you're going to have to embrace it. And if you know what you're doing, it's a blessing, I promise you, because this is a hell of a lot easier than actually traditional SEO, in my opinion. It's a lot less moving parts. So, what is this? Think of this. Let me move my hand out of the way here. Think of AI Overviews, SGE, the local AI Overview Map Pack, whatever it is, right? All it is, it's built on what's called a RAG, or Retrieval Augmentative Generation, okay? It's just like, if you think of it as an open book test, if a traditional chatbot answers from memory, aka it's training like ChatGPT, but RAG is a system that gets to look up the answers in like a trusted book. That's the Google index before writing its response. So what does that mean? ChatGPT, it might be 6 months, 2 years before it starts training another AI model, right, off new data. Okay, you always see the cutoff dates. Cutoff training for this AI model was, last year or something, right? I don't remember when 5 was, but ChatGPT 5. What's great about Google is it has the Google Index, so it has a trusted book that you can take advantage of, all right? This is the big play for your SEO. Read up on RAGs in the scholarly articles. It's actually really fascinating what they've been able to do and somewhat hilarious, all right? But what I want to say is it comes into 2 parts. Your query, retrieval, and retrieve text, okay? So, number 1, step 1, the retrieval. So, this is the search part when I ask a question, all right? Blah, 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 blah. Basically, what does this mean for us that are doing SEO? Your website content schema markup is huge. Your Google Business Profile data, especially your services as a post. Big hint there, guys, if you are into this right now. User reviews and reoccurring themes, aka trigger tokens. If you know, you know. And then data from third-party sources. And I'm not talking about citations that is completely irrelevant and is no longer part of the game. All right, it's a collection of facts that becomes an open book for the next step. 2, the text generation. This is basically where the LLM, the AI overview, pops up in your phone and tells you whatever it is you want to hear, okay? And because the LLM is restricted to using Google's index to retrieve its facts, it's much less likely to hallucinate or make things up or cite sources that aren't, relevant or existing, okay? Not to say there aren't ways to game the system, because there most definitely are. All right. So what does this mean for local SEO? Number 1, being a fact is the new ranking model. Think of this: when a local LLM or an AI model is running over your website, it doesn't give a shit about your content or anything like that. It's constantly looking for facts. Okay. This is more so for LLM models like ChatGPT, Claude, whoever, Perplexity, whatnot. Right. Structured data is a cheat sheet. Okay, so this is going to give you the language on how a LM processes data. Okay, you can see how service, FAQ schema, how-to schema, even is a lot of times as you're going to see that are going to be cited. They're pulling from those. Okay, and then third one, this is the hardest for you SEOs for some reason, and people that I've talked to about this. Conversational content wins, without a doubt, hands down. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll wait right here. I'll put $1,000 on it. Prove me wrong. Okay, which slides right into the whole voice search, which oddly enough is like 40% of search queries now, but I digress. So how can we take advantage of this? This is going to be a hypothetical. I'm not going to really show anything or do anything. So I just want to get your mind of how a RAG system, aka AI overview, works, so it's not, so you're demystified from it. All right. Number one, you need a data source. Okay. So let's say for this, you have a client that's a personal injury attorney here in Lakeland, Florida. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a microsite, lakelandincidentreport.org. It could be a Google site. It could be a 2.0, whatever, right? Your goal here is to create content and become an authoritative source on whatever that subject is. Okay, it's super easy to do in local. You don't need much. All right. In this hypothetical, we've got content. You're publishing interactive maps, dangerous intersections, local DUIs, guides on what to do after a fender bender, blah blah blah. You don't even need to be that broad. Okay, if you know exactly what you're trying to target, it doesn't need to be great. It doesn't need to be extensive. All right. Number two, social proof layer. You need a community voice. Okay. Very important. You need to be multimodal now. All right. Number one, we got an example of a Facebook group or a subreddit called Lakeland Drivers Watch. Okay. You don't need a ton of followers and all this stuff that you think you need. Okay. Backlinks and all. You don't need any of that. All right. Content. The group discusses local traffic, road closures, recent accidents, and they proxy seed discussions, aka fake people, and conversational questions. All right, I think you've seen enough about parasite SEO to know where that went, but I digress. You're not playing that game. All right, you just want to create a community voice. All right, and the last piece of the puzzle would be a media collaboration. This is the final part of your trinity if you want to steal an AI overview. All right, aka maps now. You're going to create a hyper-local media outlet like a YouTube channel or a blog. That's a small independent news source. You do not need a bunch of backlinks. You do not need nothing. All right. You just need decent content. All right. So for this example, you could literally just make a YouTube channel called the Lakeland Local Report. All right. The content produces news segments and recent local events and reports on dangerous intersections. You could put that into a flow on an. So how does this work? You're going to create a self-referencing ecosystem. Your news source, aka your YouTube channel, is going to cite your data source, which is going to be your microblog, your Web 2.0, your Google site, right, as a source for its data. Then the community voice, aka your shitty Reddit channel or your fake Facebook group, are going to discuss about those videos and or topics from either or both. And then occasionally they will cite your business, your law firm, your whatever as an expert resource. It's that simple, guys. It's like tier link building, but you do it a little different. Impact on RAG. All right. So when someone types their little shitty fingers and says, who's the best lawyer for car accident on I-4 in Lakeland, the RAG system retrieval process is going to be completely dominated by your ecosystem. All right, once again, you've got to be a sniper, not a bomber. So the retrieval, someone searches it up, it looks up a set of facts, right, the generation. But to pick you for an AI overviews, because you were the best result or because people loved you, it's because you created the reality from which that result was generated, okay? You've stopped trying to get the AI to pick you, and you engineered the game so that you are the only logical choice.